بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today I have another reaction video. In this video, I'm going to be reacting a Muslim Ismail transformed this film director life forever. So he liked the Muslim Ismail because Ismail is a Sunnah and a Muslim is a religious, and for just smiling you get rewards from God. And that's what transformed him to become a Muslim. Yeah, let's get to the story and see what he had to say about his reversion to Islam. Let's get to it.
Prepare to be inspired as you witness the incredible power of a smile that changed someone's life forever. Mustafa Davis' story is not like any other Revert story. He did not spend years researching different religions and then finally embraced Islam. In fact, what led him to true guidance was just a dazzling smile of a Muslim man and the question, "Are you a Muslim?" And all it took was just 24 hours. Mustafa originally grew up in California, America. He belonged to a broken family and had to endure a lot of abuse and trauma. During high school, he got involved with the wrong crowd and ended up going down a dark road. The road took him towards drugs, gang, crime, and violence. Pretty soon, he was expelled from high school, and due to this, his mother kicked him out of the house. Somehow or the other, he managed to get his life slightly back on track, and he went to university. But he was still involved in activities which were destroying his peace. He wanted to make more changes with his life, and decided that maybe going back to the church was the answer. He figured that religion might be the only weapon that could bring his life back in order and give him the strength to fight with the demons of his past. One day, while eating sushi with one of his college friends, he was speaking about going back to Catholicism, and this was the religion he was brought up with. But after his mother kicked him out and he started living with his father, he had become an atheist. His friend asked him if he could consider looking into Islam. Mustafa had a strong negative reaction to that because all he knew about Muslims was that either they were terrorists or they belonged to the black separatist movement. Mustafa can't be blamed for having that opinion because the media and movies have always portrayed the Muslims in such a way. His friend did try to convince him that Islam was a pretty universal religion, but once his friend mentioned that Muhammad ﷺ was an Arab prophet, Mustafa got turned off. He did not believe that he could connect with Arab culture. This happened on a Wednesday. The night, Mustafa went to a bookstore after work to buy a Bible. In the Eastern philosophy section, something caught his eye. He saw the word Muhammad written in gold letters, and he pulled the book out. It was the biography of our Prophet ﷺ by Martin Lings. But the book and the Arabic names seemed heavy on Mustafa's tongue, and soon he gave up and put it back. More convinced now that Islam wasn't the right religion for him, but the book right next to it was the Quran. Mustafa reached for it, and the first chapter it opened up to was Surah Maryam. Standing in the bookstore, Mustafa read the whole chapter and started weeping at the end of it. This surah answered all his questions and cleared so many of his doubts. He had never believed that God could have a son. He remembers that the surah gave him chills in his body as it beautifully explained the miraculous birth of Jesus. The surah resonated with him on such a level that Mustafa bought the Quran and read Surah Maryam twice that night. Despite finding a deep connection with Surah Maryam, Mustafa felt apprehensive about reading any other chapters. Surah Maryam had touched his heart in such a profound way that he was scared that if any other surah that he reads did not make him feel the same way, then he would lose the peace he felt in his heart that night. The next day, on Thursday, Mustafa was on his way to class when he passed by a Senegalese man who had set up a stall to sell crafts. That man's name was Khadim. Mustafa stopped at his stall, looking at a wallet, and when that man turned to him, he gave him the most dazzling, illuminating smile that Mustafa had ever seen and asked, "Are you a Muslim?" Mustafa was shocked as he had never been asked the question before. But he had an amazing experience with the Quran last night and was looking for guidance in some form or the other. But that man didn't know that. So this unexpected question made him wonder, could this be a sign? When Mustafa told the Senegalese man about how he was looking into Islam at the moment and had spent the night before reading the Quran, Khadim gave him an encouraging smile and a big hug, saying that he was happy for Mustafa. Khadim then asked Mustafa if he could do him a favor. He said that he had to go and pray, and he was getting late. He asked Mustafa if he wouldn't mind just watching his stall and selling to the customers until he came back. Mustafa agreed, but while the man was gone, Mustafa kept thinking, what had made Khadim trust him? Why would he leave his cash with a stranger? If Mustafa wanted, he could just take the cash, and no one would ever be able to track him down. But a realization came to him, and he thought that whatever that man had gone to do must be something far more important than the cash. Whatever it was,
Absolutely.
Mustafa had been searching for something exactly like that. He had been searching for something that could be so powerful and alluring that he wouldn't care about anything else. When the man came back, his face was full of light, and he kept thanking Mustafa. Before Mustafa left, another man came up. He was Pakistani, and he asked him the exact same question. Are you Muslim? Again, Mustafa was completely shocked. What was going on? Mustafa said no, and asked the Pakistani man why he had said that, and that man replied that he looked like a Muslim. Mustafa then went on to tell him that he read the Quran last night and was looking to go back to religion. The man asked him if he had ever been to the mosque, and Mustafa said no, but he would love to go. The man invited Mustafa to come to the mosque with him for the next day. Next day, Mustafa went to the Pakistani man's house, and his mother had made lunch for him and asked him to eat. This was during Ramadan. Mustafa was very impressed by their hospitality and generosity. They left for the mosque, and upon his arrival, Mustafa saw around 50 men standing in a row, ready to greet him. All of them were wearing genuine happy smiles. He shook hands with all of them and was moved by the warm welcome he received. After he sat down with some people, he told them about how he read the Quran last night and how much it had moved him. They asked him if he believed in Muhammad, and Mustafa found himself saying yes. He was then asked if he would like to become a Muslim, and without hesitation, Mustafa said yes again. Mustafa closed his eyes when he said his Shahada. He describes that moment as if some burden had left his body, and he instantly felt lighter. He felt like all his past sins had been taken away. This happened on the blessed day of Friday, and Mustafa entered into the fold of Islam. Mustafa's story is a great example of how a Muslim's character, behavior, and personality can lead non-Muslims towards accepting Islam. It doesn't always have to be theology or religious debates that can convince people. All it can take is one smile. We hope you enjoyed today's video and found it different and inspiring. Be sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and share this amazing story with friends and family.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, the video is ended. The video is what transformed this man's life. Is because of the smile that he saw on the Muslims. Smiling is a sunnah. It's considered like a charity. Whenever you smile, people will feel happy. That's where the charity comes in, just to make somebody's give him like that smile will make other people feel better, and that's considered charity according to the Islam. That's why Muslims had to smile all the time when they're talking to anybody, whether it's Christian, any religion. If you're speaking to somebody, your face has to be open, not looking like angry, looking like somebody who have other issues. Put your issues aside, and you need to smile, which is Muslims have to do every time when they meet up with somebody. So the video was very good and very informational, but when it comes to smile, that's the full information about the smile. This man reverted to Islam because of that smile that he saw on a Muslims. So brothers and sisters, I have to end this video right here, and I will see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.